Hello and welcome. This is Anton from Andromeda Station. Today we're going to be taking a look at working with substance archives in Substance Player. Now, before you stop me and say, hey, is this something brand new that I'm going to have to buy? Nope, Substance Player is Allegorithmic's free editor for working with substance archives. Substance archives, if you aren't aware, is something that we include with all of our assets. They allow users of our assets to modify and change the textures on the materials to make them custom, unique in their own. Things like changing the color of the paint, changing the wear, the dirt, and the distress on the surfaces, giving them their own feel and characteristics that are correct for your application. So, the first thing we need to do to get started is to go head on over to Allegorithmic's website. As I said, this little program is free. All you have to do is set up a login, head to allegorithmic.com, find Substance Player under their products, and then go ahead and download it. It's a free download, it's a quick download, it's a little tiny program, and it's really great if all you need to do is modify a substance archive. So once you have that downloaded and installed, it'll look like this right out of the box. You'll get a cube and nothing much else. So what are we going to do? We need to go find our substance archive. So in this case, we're working with the Deep Space Probe. We're going to go ahead and open up our substance folder in our Unity assets folder. Inside of here, we have this substance archive zip file. So we zip it up just because we don't want Unity dealing with it if it doesn't have to, right? So if it's zipped up, it's safe and removed from that process. So if I go ahead and right click on here and say extract all, we'll go ahead and unzip this and it will appear magically in this folder. So here we go. Once that's unzipped, we can go ahead and drag and drop that right into Substance Player. It will open up and we will get our material on the surface of this cube. Now, you may be saying, this is not very helpful. How do I look at this on my actual asset? So the only thing we have to do to get that working is to go ahead and head over here to our assets folder. Grab our mesh. I'm going to go ahead and grab the probe main body, no lens. If we drag this into this window here, we'll see right away the mesh comes in and the material is applied to it. So let's get down to editing and modifying this a little bit. So the first thing that we're going to do is change the resolution. Currently, by default, the resolution is set to 512 by 512. You'll probably want to work with something a little bit more high res than that. I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to 2K. So here's the material at 2K. And now we can make some modifications and changes to that surface. You may notice that there's a couple square blocks and shapes on here. We'll get to that as we work through here. So the first thing that we're going to do is look at the settings in this paint drop down. As you can see, there's a main paint color. I can go ahead and change this to whatever I choose, whatever I please. I'm going to make it sort of, let's do like a warm red. I'm going to modify the stripe color here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave these as is, but maybe darken them up a little bit. And then there are a couple other things to modify. There's dirt, so you could change the amount of dirt on the surface of here. There are streaks, so you can see these streaks coming off of different areas. I can increase the intensity of that or completely decrease it if I didn't want that. I'm going to leave it on. There are options for decals, and I'll get back to that in just a moment. glow, so we can change the color of the glows for the different glowing bits on here. And then there's a normal output option. Depending on the engine that you're going to, for Unity, we want the white or green channel positive. So we're going to go ahead and set this to on, because the default setting for Substance Player is going to be DirectX. So I'm just going to leave it there for now. The other things that we're going to want to be able to do are, I'm going to jump into the decals folder here in my assets. And if you did want to change these decals, you could potentially change them. I have a preset in here for blank. So if you don't want decals on the surface, if you just wanted this to be very plain, you could go ahead and drag that into here and say load it into decal 1, and you'll see that that spot goes away. But if you wanted an actual decal on there, I could go ahead and drag that on. And this is a little graphic that I made. It's simply a grayscale logo or text that's been created in Photoshop. You could also make something in a free image editor such as GIMP or something like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and go through and drag all of these on. And you'll see the decals come in. So there they are. In addition to this, you're also able to edit the color of these decals. So say I wanted to edit this guy down here, I can change the color. Oh, I'm changing the wrong one. So now that we've customized all the decal colors and we're happy with this, we can go ahead and export it out. So all we're going to do that is come up here to export, say export as bitmap. I'm only going to export the base color because I already have all of these other textures included in my Unity project. But if you were going to export the entire thing, you can feel free to export all the textures at the same time. I'm just going to tell it to export it to the desktop, and I'm just going to use Targa because I like that. So here we go, export, and the export is complete. And if I go ahead and hide all this stuff now, I can come back to Unity, and I'm going to go and find that Targa that I exported. And now, if I jump back in here and I apply this texture, now it's exactly like the version that we just created in Substance Player, which is great. I didn't mention it before, but we always also export out a bunch of different variations of the textures that are available. So these come with the asset. But the the nicety of the Substance archive is that you get to make those changes yourself, export those textures out, and utilize them in Unity or your engine of choice, and they are your own, right? So that's all we're going to cover today. Thanks for checking this out. We're looking forward to adding more content and assets. And if you are interested in that, please subscribe to our channel and we'll make that all possible. Thank you so much. Bye.